will come to order, please. The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act for this meeting have been satisfied. A copy of the annual notice was sent to the press at Down Beach Current, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, on the municipal website, filed in the office of the municipal clerk. Would you please stand for the flag salute?
They'll do it.
Attention, salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll, please.
Mayor Becker,
Here.
Commissioner Amadeo.
Here.
Commissioner Blumberg.
I am here.
We have before us for approval the minutes of our December 17th meetings.
I'll make a motion we accept those.
I'll second that.
Mayor Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo,
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
We will now open public comment, 3 minutes on any subject. Is there any public comment? How about, tell me when, John.
I'll tell you when.
Thank you.
We want to be accurate. At the last meeting, Sewell, 22 West Drive, at the last meeting, we had the privilege of having Albert Battaglia here and talking about shared services, which Commissioner Blumberg assured us would be promoted under his new administration. I urge you to reach out because once again, we have these pronouncements that the superintendent is pleased with the results. Pleased. I would have to have a full frontal lobotomy. A full frontal. I may have already had one. And industrial strength psychotropics to be pleased with a quarter of the 8th graders, 25% of the 8th graders, not being partially proficient in math. This is a disgrace, a total, complete disgrace. It reflects the degree of incompetence and ineptitude of the appointees of the mayor to the school board. To me, that would be a pink slip with 25%. And although the assemblyman can play with his electronic gadget, perhaps some of his progeny or grandchildren, when they're in that 25%, are going to have a heck of a difficult time in high school and a heck of a difficult time taking those SATs. And they won't get into their school or university of choice. In fact, when they get into some cockamamie third-rate, third-string college, they're going to have to do a year of remedial math. A year of remedial math, which means that when that tuition comes out of the parent's pocket, they're going to get socked and socked real good. So I urge that we have a re-emphasis on the achievement in math. In fact, at the ARC, I picked up this book on chemistry. And if you look at the very top of it, this booklet says Math Review Toolkit. And as the assemblyman can tell you, measurement is critical in any profession. Or as the carpenters say, you have to measure twice to cut once. And these students are graduating and they're not proficient in math after we've invested $250,000 of taxpayers in each and every one of these students. And to see that 1 out of 4 can't do proficient level math, this is a disgrace, and it must be addressed, and it must be corrected, and I've been saying it since the time of Potina. But he had an excuse for his erratic situations. That's enough.
Reset. No, just hit reset and hit red.
Do I want to take it on about this?
No, we won't get out of here.
He's just wrong.
Yeah.
Any other public comment?
Yeah, you're going to start me at 3? Good. Thank you. Steve Warner, 103 North Sumner Avenue. I was reading in the Current today about the police accreditation in Margate, and sounds like the chiefs are going to come down, and there's going to be assessors from the State Association of Chiefs of Police to determine that the police are doing everything right. Well, I think that's a great idea, and I'm sure we're going to do good. And I'm just wondering, is there the same kind of thing for the fire department? Because I think maybe the fire department could maybe use somebody to come down to assess that too. Okay. I mean, there's some things in the fire department that are really troubling me. I'm sorry that the chief left, but you know, we've had some funds were missing earlier last year, and now we have one of the firemen taking food from Wawa, and from what I understand, that's not the only time he's taken it. He's been, you know, taking it at other Wawas. I think the city there should be some kind of policy. I understand that Wawa gives people, the police in Longport and Margate and the fire department, free coffee when they're on duty. Is that true? That's what I've been told, Chief.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is Wawa's policy. It's
Right.
the police department policy does not allow them to partake in that program. They have to pay for what they take.
They have to pay for what they take, but they get the free coffee.
Police department.
Right.
Not allowed to accept the free coffee.
You're not allowed to accept free coffee. I can't hear you now.
Wawa does in fact offer that.
Right.
It's police department policy that they're not allowed to partake in that program.
Okay. Well, I think it's important to have a policy in effect, and I mean, I think from what I understand, the police in Longport do take advantage of that, that's their prerogative.
I can't speak for all.
Okay, I understand that, and I hear that the firemen are given free coffee when they're on duty. Well, let's put it this way, I think a lot of the firemen are taking advantage of that, and they're taking free coffee whenever it suits them, whether they're on duty or not. And I think that should be a policy that they can't accept the free coffee unless they're on duty, because it doesn't look right. And you know, to see this in the paper that one of the firemen is you know, allegedly shoplifted. This is a person that's making close to $100,000 a year. It doesn't look good on the city. And I think that something should be done about it. That's all.
Steve, I'd like to mention one thing.
John wants to comment.
There is a policy intact in the fire department that they're not allowed to just go in and get a cup of coffee and walk out the door and not pay anything.
Right.
If they get a cup of coffee, they have to purchase another item, go to the counter and pay for it.
Okay.
So while they're on duty, it's not when they're off duty.
Right.
But that's a standard that goes beyond the state of New Jersey, where businesses do offer our public safety personnel, especially the ones that are working on swing shifts and night shifts, et cetera, the opportunity to have coffee, and, you know, some places even charge them half price for their lunches, which we don't have any control of. But as long as they're paying for something before they walk out the door, they don't walk out with just a free cup of coffee and not pay. So I know Chief Tabasso has implemented that within his policy within the fire department, and you heard what our Chief Wilson with
Right.
the police department. And, you know, you said, I think you mentioned about a drug policy in the beginning. There is random drug testing within the fire department. It's been implemented for a couple years now, Mr. Deeney, am I correct? 2 years?
Right.
And, you know, it is a program that's used nationally, and, you know, it's computer generated, and it's there. So, you know, we're doing our end, and we hope our employees do their end. Thank you.
Well, I hope they do too, because it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good.
Steve,
Yeah.
your points are well taken,
Yeah.
but let's make sure that we're accurate and not exaggerating them. First of all, whenever there's a violation of policy, there's a whole procedure for discipline. And I can assure you that in each and every case, that procedure is followed for discipline.
Okay.
There's a whole procedure. Secondly, the random drug testing for the fire department, which Commissioner just mentioned, that's been implemented for 2 years. We're only the second fire department in the whole state of New Jersey to have that. It's an advanced program for drug testing. Drugs are an extremely prevalent problem in Atlantic County, and not just Atlantic County, but certainly that's what we're concerned with right now. And we are on top of that issue as best we can. And this community and all communities better rally around that problem and not look at it strictly as criminal, but also as medical, because we have a great society problem. But I can assure you, Margate City is doing what we can for our employees on behalf of our residents.
Okay, let me just say one thing. I don't try to exaggerate at all, okay? I try to be 100% accurate.
Well, what-
Now, yeah.
Basically is what I heard, and I could be mistaken,
Go ahead.
but what I heard on record that you said, that you heard that other firemen are taking things from Wawa.
No, I said this fireman,
Or
this
that
fireman.
that fireman took them from other Wawas. And I don't know about that, and if you have any evidence of that, I'd like to see it. And that's what I'm referring to of exaggeration.
Okay. Well, like I said, I heard that. And I didn't, well,
But
whatever.
we're in a public meeting.
Yes.
And in passing rumors that somebody heard is not appropriate. If you want to ask questions of what we know, that's appropriate. It's not appropriate for us to have discussions about rumors about employees. They have rights, just like you do as an individual. So please be careful of what you say about other, look, at a public official, you could say a lot more things about public officials, but not public employees. There's libel for that, and I don't want to be part of it or have anybody here on public record part of it. And I'm not against you, but I'm serious about your microphone allegations that are recorded and people are hearing. That's why you get a response, but I don't want to be responding without knowledge either. But we don't want the public to go beyond what they already know as fact. Yes, we have had problems with 2 firemen. It's fact, it's been reported, but not beyond that.
Okay. I'm good with that.
Okay, good. Thank you, Steve.
All right.
Any other public comment? Is a motion to close public comment?
So moved.
I'll second that.
Johanna?
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
We will now open public comment for comment on the listed resolutions. Excuse me. I guess we better get my list out.
Sewell, 22 West Drive. I would be remiss if I didn't say that I respectfully disagree on the coffee policy. It's nothing personal about anybody, but I respectfully disagree. But getting on to more urgent, more pressing matters, Resolution 03-2016, Mayor, your careful attention, please. Last time we had this issue, I vehemently objected to the so-called grandfather clause. I don't see any official policy, any official ordinance, any official resolution creating a grandfather policy when the person to your left, the sinister side, has been denied medical coverage. You have to have a uniform, fair policy. This is not fair. That's 03-2016, Assemblyman.
Appointment of a municipal prosecutor?
Yes.
Go ahead, John. What else? I'll explain to the
Well,
Commissioner.
I think, put the clock, tea time, Mayor. Hold the clock.
That's all right, we'll give them time.
Can't run that on,
I was quick, John.
I don't know how you explain it, because I don't think it can be rationally or logically explained. It's a policy that varies from the official policy. because those very same terms and conditions would apply to Commissioner Blumberg. And yet you're denying Commissioner Blumberg, and you're entitling this person to a job that is even more part-time than Commissioner Blumberg's post. And therefore, I respectfully request a review of this policy, because believe me, if you offered this job without the medical benefits, you'd have lawyers lined up around the 4 blocks of this building, willing to take the job without the medical benefits and do a bang-up job of it. So my advice is that we get a uniform, fair policy. As it stands now, it's inequitable and unfair to Commissioner Blumberg not to have a consistent policy. I see no grandfather provision anywhere in the city ordinances or the city resolutions. And I respectfully request that this matter be thoroughly investigated and that we implement a fair and uniform policy. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Sewell. Anyone else? I'm sorry, anyone else? Public comment?
I'll make a motion, we close.
Second?
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Johanna, we have ordinances are next, I believe. I guess I'll have to talk to this group.
I'd like to have a motion on the introduction of ordinance number 1-2016, fixing salaries and compensation of certain officers and employees.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Okay, if there's going to be no discussion on the resolution, I'd like to propose a consent agenda for resolution number 1-2016 through -15-2016. May I have a motion?
I'll make that
I'll
motion.
second that motion.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
That was
good.
Thank you, Johanna. Is there a motion? Is there any other business anyone have? Is there a motion to adjourn? the meeting?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Thank you all for being here.
Yes.
Do what?